Brett, who is your garbage person of the week?
I got a double dose of garbage. It's Karoline Leavitt and Steve Bannon. We'll start with Karoline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, as she basically plays into everyone's worst fears about what Trump will do in the upcoming election as it pertains to potentially having his secret police patrol polling stations. Take a look.
I can't guarantee that an ICE agent won't be around a polling location in November. I mean, that's frankly a very silly hypothetical question.
Oh, sure, cool, nice. He doesn't have plans not to. He doesn't have plans to do it, who knows? But he's already using his secret police to kill people in the streets of Minneapolis. Why was this even a subject that anybody was talking about? Here is the clip that she was essentially asked about with Steve Bannon. Take a look.
You're damn right. We're going to have ICE surround the polls come November. We're not going to sit here and allow you to steal the country again. And you can whine and cry and throw your toys out of the pram all you want, but we will never again allow an election to be stolen.
Two things are really horrible about what he said. A, the use of the word pram. Make America great again? Or are you trying to make America British nannies again? We don't say pram, you psychopath. And that's what everybody was scared about. And second, like, steal this election again? What are you even? Here's a Cato Institute article from 2024. Cato Institute is a conservative organization. Trump's 2020 stolen election claims are wrong on the merits. Steve Bannon is the guy who says stuff that ends up happening. And usually it's the worst stuff. In this case, it is the fear that Donald Trump, who has been making a ton of racket about how he's scared about the elections, we'll get into that later. But Trump is the one who listens to Bannon and then does horrible things like this and is harping on how the election was stolen. What is it, 6 years ago now? But some folks are saying maybe you're taking Karoline Leavitt out of context. I'm going to play the full clip as it appeared. Take a look.
Thank you, Karoline. Steve Bannon recently said, quote, "We're going to have ICE surround the polls come November." Is that something that the president is considering?
That's not something I've ever heard the president consider, no.
You can guarantee to the American public that ICE will not be around polling locations or voting locations in November?
I can't guarantee that an ICE agent won't be around a polling location in November. I mean, that's frankly a very silly hypothetical question. But what I can tell you is I haven't heard the president discuss any formal plans to put ICE outside of polling locations. It's a disingenuous question.
Karoline,
It's not a disingenuous question. Everybody is concerned based on Trump's previous actions. There's a lot of stuff that ICE is not supposed to be doing that he has ICE doing. He is wildly preoccupied with election stealing, even though it's proven by everyone who studied it, the election was not stolen from him when he lost in 2020. Now, other things that are raising everyone's alarms are like this Mother Jones article. Trump's FBI raid on Georgia could lead to a takeover of elections in Georgia's largest county. Trump wants to control, quote, over the voting in at least 15 places. He could start in Fulton County. In addition, Trump says he'll only accept the 2026 midterms if he deems them, quote, honest. And in that statement, he said this: "I will accept the midterm outcomes if the elections are honest." Trump also said that if the elections aren't, quote, honestly conducted, quote, then something else has to happen. And many judges across the country rebuke ICE for defying court orders. They are increasingly castigating what they say are systematic legal and constitutional abuses by the administration. So Karoline, Steve Bannon is saying this stuff. He's saying it explicitly and out loud. He's saying there are going to be ICE agents around. When someone asks you about the veracity of that claim, she says, "Oh, I haven't heard of any formal plans." And it's therefore a disingenuous question. It is not. It is the question everyone needs an answer to. Further, we need a pledge from the president that he is not going to try to intimidate voters by standing outside polling locations, doing the kinds of stuff that, as we have seen in Minneapolis and beyond, lead to loss of rights, but more specifically, loss of life. This is the dictator type stuff that we're talking about. And it's not me raising the alarm crazily and randomly. There are people like Andrew Schultz who are the podcast bros who supported you in your run in the last election, who have since said, no, this has gone too far. You do stuff like this. So don't call us crazy and gaslight the nation when we can see very clearly under broad daylight that you are abusing the Constitution and making us all less safe and threatening democracy in America, which is a country that should be the one stronghold of it. John.
Agreed. Yeah, no, I mean, you laid it out really well. All of this is exactly what we would have said it was going to be 2 years ago, 1 year ago. They're doing all the things. They're going to try to pass legislation to make it harder to vote in all the ways that we said that they would. They're going to try to intimidate you on the day of the vote so that you don't go. And Donald Trump is saying now what he says before every election, which is I'm only going to accept it if, I mean, he pronounces it honestly. He means if I win. That's it. He has never ever accepted the results of an election in which he lost. He's never going to do that. He's not going to suddenly change at 80 to accepting elections that he loses. And so whatever can be done needs to be done to stop them from rigging this. The Democrats in the Senate cannot allow the SAVE Act to pass no matter what. It doesn't matter what they need to do to stop that. That needs to be done. ICE cannot be allowed to be near the polling places. And unfortunately, there's nothing the Democrats in DC are going to be able to do about that. But in the many blue states where this is going to happen, they need to outlaw that. They need to say, on election day, ICE agents within 200 yards of polling places will be committing X crime, whatever. Do whatever you need to do to make it as difficult as possible. And then all the lawyers need to be ready when Donald Trump tries to reject the results of the elections he loses, which he is going to do. And when Mike Johnson tries to not seat the Democrats that win in the midterms, they need to be ready for that too. All of this is dark. All of this is apocalyptic. None of it is surprising though. And especially when you still have nearly a year before all this happens, you don't get to claim to be, like surprised by any of it. If you're in a position of power, you have an obligation to prepare for it, to make it as difficult as possible to rig or deny the results of this election as possible. That's all I have to say.
With the cost of everything going up, here at TYT, we're always trying to help you guys out and save you some money. Your cell phone bill is the last place you should be getting ripped off. But if you're with Verizon or AT&T, chances are you're way overpaying for the plan you're on. That's why TYT is teaming up with Noble Mobile, the only cell phone plan that pays you to use your phone less. With their Noble plan, get unlimited data for only $50 a month. But the real game changer is the cash back you get for your unused data. The less data you use, the more cash back you get. It's a win-win. Stop letting big wireless rip you off. Choose a company that aligns with your values and isn't trying to milk you for every last cent. And by switching to Noble, you're directly supporting TYT in our mission of bringing you honest, independent news. So give Noble a try and make the switch today. Scan the QR code on the screen now or visit go.tyt.com/plan. That's go.tyt.com/plan.